spirits further and bring us out into the world in some beautiful music. So Sharon Bousquet.
Thank you, Candace. Reborn to a new trajectory, reborn in the possibility of love as a new day dawning. Remade from the loss and longing, remade where the truth that is dawning. Love is a temple of skin. Light baptizes life wherever it falls. Love rises to the call, and now we know. Yes, now we know. Rise up to a new decision. Rise up and master the vision of all that you came here to be. Rise up, one with all beings. Rise up as one we're seeing. Christ in us, conscious and free. Light baptizes life wherever it falls. Love rises to the call, and now we know. Yes, now we know. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Happy first Sunday in May, everybody. Good to see my peeps. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware's Sunday morning celebration service. I'm Sharon Bousquet, and I am thrilled to be here with you today. Another beautiful day in Delaware. Wherever you are, I hope it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna do one that we've been doing recently because it's really up-tempo and upbeat, and it really suits the self-quarantine time. Keep us inspired. You know what? Oh, I can't do that one. I'll do this one. Sorry, folks. I grabbed one that doesn't have the chords on it. That's just not very helpful. Two. This song is a wonderful song, written long ago by, actually it was arranged, this one's arranged by Rich Siegel for Unity of Montclair, and it is a beautiful version of this song that all of us know. Feel free to sing along wherever you are. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth. Today's service is is going to be about how we can take unwanted life conditions and use them to open a portal into the good of the universe. This is a month of talking about soul and heart, and this is a song from my youth, taking a challenging situation and remembering who we are. In the shadow cast as you were leaving, in the beauty of the ending day, there is always something to return to, something you allow to slip away. In the empty corners of the evening, in the moving beauty of the wind, there is always something to remember, something to remember to begin. I need no shelter, I need no guide. I'll be alone on this long, long night tonight. Whatever you fear, whatever you hide, whatever you carry deep inside, you're something more than this. Whatever you love, whatever you give, whatever you think you need to live, you're something more than this. You're something more than this. In the shadow cast as we were leaving, in the beauty of the ending day, there is always something to believe in, something more empowering to say. I need no shelter, I need no guide. I'll be alone on this long, long night tonight. Whatever you fear, whatever you hide, whatever you carry deep inside, you're something more than this. Whatever you love, whatever you give, whatever you think you need to live, there's something more than this. There's something more than this. I'd like to introduce Candace to do the beautiful evocation.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Centers for Spiritual Living Delaware, all our members and all our guests, and welcome to this beautiful month of May, where we are focusing on listening to our hearts. Such a powerful, important subject right now, and focus as we spend so much time indoors. It's allowing us to awaken to that voice of our heart in ways that I think we probably haven't experienced for a while. So I invite you now to just close your eyes and go within again. Another beautiful opportunity to know the one truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that there is only one life, and that is the life of God, whole, perfect, and complete. The infinite reality of all good, expressing itself in the fullness, the wholeness, the richness of divine order, of peace, of love. Love unconditional, which accepts itself, all that is in creation, accepts it and allows it in the total freedom of the truth of wholeness, of being, that beingness of the one, that love unconditional. That is my life right now. That is the life of each one of us who is listening here today, and all of life. We are here individualized as the expression of God. And as God is all good, all love, all light, it is the faith in itself, what we call faith. It is faith in itself. So I claim that faith for myself and that faith for others as well, that in truth, we are the grace of God in creative form. So as we deepen into this understanding, this thought, this awareness of listening to our hearts, that truly means listening to the voice of the divine, which is planted within us, which is that spark of life itself. And as we listen to the message today about the seat of the soul, knowing that the heart and the soul truly are one and the same thing. It is that presence which ignites us with the ability to do and to be and to say exactly who we are and what is called forth in each moment. And that all misunderstanding or disbelief or error of thought is overcome by that unconditional love that is within the heart. There is a divine urge within each one of us at the very center of our being, which is calling us forward into greater expressions of ourselves. Is it something that does not lead us astray, but which guides us gently to take each step into greater being, into the truth of our gifts and our light. And those in turn lift us up and increase the vibrancy of our life as we express ourselves as who we are here to be, as fulfilling our purpose. This is always true, for it is love itself. The infinite presence of God wanting to know itself through each one of us. Knowing that love embraces us and demonstrates within us as sharing, as forgiveness, as kindness, as inclusivity, which we demonstrate. And so I celebrate us coming together today in this beautiful service, in this moment in time, knowing that it is an expansive calling for this great good to be known within us and as us. And so I celebrate and give thanks for all who are here, all who showed up, all who say yes to this opportunity to grow and deepen in that heart center through the message delivered through Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson today. So grateful for her presence, for her commitment, for her knowledge, for her enthusiasm, for her surrender to the truth, the word of truth, for her study, her contemplation. And the word that she speaks to us that inspires and lifts up and lights our path in ways it has not been before lit. And so grateful for Dan and Michelle for the technological expertise that allows us to be here together today. And also for Sharon Bousquet for the vibration and of sound, this beautiful music that brings us together in that celebration of the heart. So for all this good, I give my thanks, knowing it is truly a day of God, and we are each uplifted by it and uplifted by being together. And so I invite us all to say in our homes and in our hearts, yes, and so it is. And I would like to introduce Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson for our welcome today. Thank you and namaste.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my friends, my spiritual family. Let's open ourselves up more fully to this frequency of the Most High that is seeking freer, fuller, more expanded expression through us. So stretch your arms out with me if you would, and repeat after me. I open my heart to the universe.
I open my heart to the universe,
Accepting love and healing.
accepting love and healing.
I open my mind to the universe.
I open my mind to the universe,
Accepting inspiration and understanding.
accepting inspiration and understanding.
Let's bring that into our hearts. Take a breath. Relax, enjoy, and say together, yes, and so it is. Lovely, thank you. So now I'd like to introduce to you Brett Taylor, who is giving us our announcements today.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Delaware.
Good morning, Brett.
Good morning. I want to welcome you to a new month, the month of May. It's going to be a beautiful month. And if you would repeat after me, the intention statement Dan's going to put on the screen. We, the Center for Spiritual Living, Delaware, are a welcoming, vibrant, inclusive spiritual community rooted in New Thought, ancient wisdom principles. We are here to be the presence of love and to co-create heaven on earth, a world that works for everyone. Okay. As usual, we have some wonderful things going on here at the Center for Spiritual Living, despite the fact that we are in the middle of this this event. So I encourage you to take time to participate. These will probably be virtual, most likely, and but I still encourage everyone to get on their computers and let's all get together to participate. The first one is Mary Ann Ruan, one of our licensed practitioners, is leading a 40-day guided meditation challenge. I've been participating in this 40-day guided meditation challenge, and she is just wonderful. If you get to participate with her live, you can do so, but you can also go back to this Facebook and replay her meditations through the day. So time is no constraint. Metaphysically, 40 days means that is the time that it takes to transform consciousness. So you can see CSL Delaware on the website for details. Also, I believe that she also, if you're a friend of hers on Facebook, she has her postings there. Bruce Tatum was the April Volunteer of the Month. Yay, Bruce. Let's all thank Bruce with a CSL virtual applause. Be sure to read about our Volunteers of the Month in the newsletter. All teens are invited to join our CSL Delaware teen group on Zoom today at 1:30 p.m. Reverend Bill Marciani is the facilitator, and Mary Kegelman and Lucinda Elam will be present as teen advisors. And we always like to have, we always like to reach out to our teens and have them participate in the spiritual growth. Join us for group prayer each month. Scientific research shows that there are exponential benefits to praying in a group. Check your email for the Zoom link. Save the date, May 20th from 7 to 9:30 p.m. The Prosperity Workshop by Michael Mahoney will be presented. Love donations are accepted. Again, the information can be found on our website. I have participated in prosperity workshops before, and they are very powerful representations of what we can do if we put our minds to reaching out and engaging with the world, and the world will engage back with us. Lastly, the Power of 8 Healing Circle meets today after service. All are welcome. No experience is needed. I believe that we'll probably either do it on this particular Zoom call or there will be a breakout room for us to be able to work through the Power of 8 Healing Circle. I encourage everybody to participate. So that's it for announcements. Always refer to the website if you need any more additional information. Okay, I want to hand it back to Sharon.
Thank you, sir. Well, today we're first congregational song will be one by Daniel Namad. It's called "My Soul Is Welcome Here." Please stand if you want to. Otherwise, kick back in your comfy chair, have a sip of coffee, and here we go. This is "My Soul Is Welcome Here." I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 All right. My soul is welcome. I would like to introduce the always fabulous Jenny Stewart.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be with everybody this morning. Seeing with 2020 Spiritual Vision is the CSL theme for the year. May's theme is Listen to Your Heart. And today's topic is Abbacatastasis. I just love that word, Abbacatastasis. And the reading today is by Ernest Holmes. There is within ourselves the answer to every question and the solution of every problem. Spirit will answer that demand when we allow ourselves to wait for the mental storm to die down. Be still and know is the secret of guidance, as it is of every problem of life. A perturbed mind can never get the correct answer. A still mind always can, because the answer comes from the God within. Mother Teresa once said, God speaks in the silence of the heart. Listening is the beginning of prayer. Let's affirm this truth together with conviction. I know the secret of guidance from the heart of God within me. It is be still and know. Here within me is the answer to every question, the solution to every problem. I give myself the gift of silence and I follow that guidance with confidence. Woo! And I pass this on to our beloved, wonderful Reverend Kathleen.
Thank you, Jenny. Let's take a breath, everybody. Take all that in. I have two news stories to begin my message with today. The first news story. Students Gabby Cintron and Benita Akula from Florida State University College of Medicine created a website. Listen to this. It's called Kindness Amid the Coronavirus. What it does is it tracks kindness, stories of kindness from around the globe on a map that is the counterpoint to the Johns Hopkins University coronavirus tracking map. The students' mission is to encourage people to report acts of kindness and to realize that they can do these acts of kindness in their own homes. They don't necessarily have to be out in the world. The idea is to continue this beyond the coronavirus pandemic and to truly help to create a culture of caring and kindness. I love it. The second news story. While doctors and nurses are heralded as heroes, which they absolutely deserve in the midst of the pandemic, putting themselves at risk, there are many unsung heroes that are in hospitals that go above and beyond. And I'd like to point out the environmental services personnel who staff the hospitals and clean the COVID-19 patients' rooms. 5 such volunteers I'd like to bring to your attention: Eugenio Mesa, Elizabeth Batista, Glenys Adames, Gustavo Barrero, and Denise Carrasco. These beautiful souls, when they were interviewed,
I'm sorry, we have a technical problem. We've lost Reverend Kathleen. Michelle, please switch over.
Try again.
Okay, can everybody hear me now?
Yes,
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so I don't know where we left off, but I'll tell the story, the second news story. While doctors and nurses on the front line of the pandemic have rightly been hailed as heroes for putting their lives at risk, the hospitals are full of unsung heroes who volunteer to clean the COVID-19 patients' rooms. For example, here are 5 beautiful beings who are doing this work: Eugenio Mesa, Elizabeth Batista, Glenice Adames, Gustavo Barrera, and Denise Carrasco. And they say when they're interviewed that they are happy to be of service. Keep in mind that these cleaning staff, who are so essential to combating the spread of the virus, are among the very highest at risk for being exposed to the virus. You know, when I hear stories like this, in times of crisis, I'm reminded that we can either listen to the voice of fear and huddle up and withdraw from the world, or we can listen to the heart, where we know that there is a source within us that is so above and beyond what we can imagine in terms of love and peace and joy and possibility and creativity, that when we turn to that place, all things are possible, and we can overcome that tendency to move into fight or flight. So it is to this particular month that we are focused on listening to the heart. There is a huge emphasis with this month. And I'd like to begin by talking a bit about the teachings of the spiritual master, Jesus the Christ. He taught that there is this thing called the kingdom of God. And what he was referring to was that infinite, ever-expanding potential that lies within each and every one of us. He was saying it's always available, that it's at hand. It's right here where we are. And he said, you must repent. And repent actually means to turn away from looking at the condition and turn within to the field of possibility. That's what repent actually means. And he said to believe in the good news. That means believe in the guidance, the good news of the guidance that you receive from within is what is yours to do. And that's actually from Mark 1:15. Today's talk is about just a deeper understanding of that whole entire scripture right there, this idea of the importance of turning within and listening to the heart. And I'd like to first of all share with you an ancient word that I'm sure you've heard before, which is abracadabra. Abracadabra actually means I use the power of my word to create. Interesting, huh? You all probably remember abracadabra, please and thank you. I use the power of my word to create, please and thank you. Well, there's another word I'd like to introduce to you today, and I received this from Marianne Malter, who is a Unity minister. So this is a word that's well known in the Unity ministry, which is they're also our New Thought friends. And I love this word. Listen to this word. It's abbacatastasis. 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 I have practiced this over and over again so many times.
Jenny too.
And so the accent is on the TAS, toss, abbacatastasis. So Abba actually is an endearing term for God. When we talk to Abba, Daddy, it's like saying Daddy to God. And remember, the God presence is the Father within, is what Jesus talked about, the kingdom of heaven within. And katastasis actually is a Greek term that refers to the climax of a drama. So even in the presence of a drama, you know, when we look around in the world, it seems like this huge drama is going on, this disaster, this catastrophe. And yet, in the climax of the drama, we can turn to the source within, Abba, to find another possibility, to discover and source and be the presence of a new possibility. So yes, God, this universe is designed to express more and more good, because that is the nature of God. There is an impulse in the universe, there's an impulse in each one of us to express more good in the world, to be the presence of love, to extend our hearts in love. And so our part is to take the time to go into the silence below the surface mind and listen to that voice that takes place in the stillness that will give us the guidance on what is ours to do. The unity definition of this word, Abbacatastasis, is what looks like disaster today, God will turn into good tomorrow. And it can happen in this very moment. The moment we turn within, we get a shift in consciousness. We begin to see a new possibility, and we come into that state of inner peace. What I love about this concept of Abbacatastasis, the awareness that everything's working together for good, is that it builds a certain quality, actually several qualities in us. But the one I wanted to focus on today was resilience. It builds resilience. Resilience is the capacity to recover from difficulties and bounce back and move on. Resilience, Abbacatastasis, knowing that everything's working together for good, that good is the impulse of the universe. We can align with that and be more resilient in our lives. Resilience is strengthened through the loving support of one another that we have in the spiritual community. Resilience is built through regular practice of meditation and prayer, and we're offering that to you. You know, you can tune in with Marianne and practice those things as well as do them on your own. So even in times of trouble, all we need to do is look at the good news that's taking place right now. And there are a lot of people like these two young women and others who are reporting good news. Even our major stations are reporting good news. So even in times of trouble, I am knowing there are billions of people who are resilient and optimistic and looking for the good and looking for what is mine to do to bring this good forward into the world. Abbacatastasis, an inner knowing that God is more than any challenge. Without resilience, what happens? You know, this is listening to the voice of fear. Our emotions can easily turn not only to fear, but to impatience, to resignation, and to hopelessness. So if you notice yourself in any of those emotions, that is a signal. It's not about getting down on yourself. It's about being compassionate with yourself and knowing this is a signal. It's time for me to meditate more. It's time for me to connect with spiritual community. It's time for me to do more spiritual study, more prayer, connect with a practitioner. Our beautiful practitioners are here ready to serve. Having resilience, on the other hand, is being flexible and buoyant. I love that. Flexible and buoyant, which allows us to get through the days of this pandemic and any other thing that might be going on for us with faith in the goodness of all, of the all in all, which means that presence is within humanity. And so faith in humanity with all of our gifts and talents to come up with solutions. And we can see evidence of that taking place right now as scientists are working on treatments and a possible vaccine and all the other things that are happening, all the creative innovations that are taking place. This is an optimistic attitude. Resilience and optimism go hand in hand. It's a perspective, again, that's based on the awareness that God's good floods our lives constantly. And again, ours is to turn to that presence within and receive it, receive the good. So when something unwanted happens in your life, say Abbacatastasis, say that with me, Abbacatastasis, and say it over and over to remind yourself that God's good is right here where I am, right there where you are. And good then will come to pass in the most surprising and uplifting ways. You know, I think about how often that happens where we say only good, in our teachings, only good comes from this, which is what Abbacatastasis actually means. Only good comes from this. Because I don't know how many of you have noticed that when we do that, often the good that comes is even better than we could have ever imagined. That's happened to me over and over again. And it's also important to keep in mind that it is not the will of God for disasters and bad things to happen. The will of God is the same as the nature of God. That's from Ernest Holmes, and it makes total sense. The nature of God is infinite love, peace, joy, good of every kind. God and good are synonymous. God's nature is to support us by turning misfortune into the best possible outcome. Abbacatastasis. Good is always available to us. There's a story that I heard from my Unity friends of a woman who had lost her job in a town where there were no other job opportunities. And she started to think of herself as a victim and that disaster was just her destiny. And suddenly she remembered the teaching that she'd received, Abbacatastasis. And she started to say that over and over again, which helped her to still her mind, to go within, to listen. And she was guided to move to another town. And so what she did in this other town is that she applied for a job, a different kind of job than she'd ever applied for before. And she got the job. And she found that it fed her soul and that she felt valued. And then she eventually rose to the position of vice president in the company. She realized then that exactly what we had just talked about, that the good that we receive when we turn to the presence within can be even greater. And I know it's usually even greater than we can ever imagine. She said that getting laid off was the luckiest thing that ever happened to her. Wouldn't you love to get to that point if you're in that position right now? So say with me, Abbacatastasis. Abbacatastasis. So when something bad happens, say out loud, Abbacatastasis. Our Unity friends say that Abbacatastasis works every time. Why does it work every time? Because it's a reminder to turn to the presence that has all the answers. That presence is within us. So I'm inviting you to take time each day and be still and know and listen. Take all of the things that have been concerning with you and place them on the burden, place that burden on the divine presence within you. Because knowing your unity with God, with spirit, with life itself, is the way that we get back into contact with the power and the presence of life itself. And it knows how to unfold your highest good. So let's turn within in prayer. Realizing that in this present moment, God is all there is, one source, one presence, one life, one power. Right here in the very midst of me, the presence of God is mighty. The presence of God is the infinite good, and that is the truth about each and every person in the spiritual community and beyond. I know that even as I speak in this moment, as we turn within, as we drop below the surface mind into the stillness, that the answers to every possible situation in our lives is there for us. It's there for us. And so I know that each and every person in this spiritual community is continually guided into freer, fuller, more expanded expression of themselves, more and more good, more and more good, more and more good, more and more peace, more and more love, more and more joy, all the good that God is, more and more abundant supply. So as we breathe that in, as we accept the truth of this principle, Abbacatastasis, everything's working together for good because God's in the midst of all of this and God is in charge. I release this word into the universal law of mind and I accept this as so. And say with me together, yes,
Yes.
and so it is. Namaste, my friends. Thank you. Oh, and I would like now to introduce to you our beautiful musician, Sharon Bousquet.
I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. Is all light. Is all light. All light. I am 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 divinity defined. I am the God of the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Thank you very much. I would like to introduce Brett for the membership ceremony.
Okay, hi. Actually, I'm up next. That was an error on our rundown, Sharon. So actually, not only am I up next, but so is Tom Clark. We have a new member ceremony that we're going to be offering right now. We have 2 new members, everybody, that we're going to be welcoming, Ami Shah and Jim Crum. We're so excited and so grateful. So Tom and I are going to be officiating this, and I'm going to be starting. So the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware is a community of individuals who are its hands, its feet, its head, and its heart. You, my friends, are today uniting with our community for the purpose of being the beneficial presence of love on the planet, co-creating heaven on earth, a world that works for everyone. New Thought Ancient Wisdom is a spiritual teaching based on oneness, which translates as wholeness. Our common purpose is to reveal the already present wholeness, completeness, and perfection of spirit within. To reveal wholeness means to let go of all the beliefs in lack and limitation that prevent us from experiencing and expressing our wholeness. So we are here to awaken to our oneness with all life and to reveal the attributes of the one spirit, such as grace, love, peace, joy, spiritual power, and confidence. We are here in love and in service to all life. In short, through deepening our relationship with the indwelling spirit and actively living spiritual, principle-centered lives. Our lives are blessed and we are a blessing to others. So I now would like to introduce to you Tom Clark, our board president.
By joining this spiritual community, you bless us with your own uniqueness. As you deepen your practice of the teachings of New Thought Ancient Wisdom, you are making a profound difference in your life and in the life of our community and the planet. As you realize your unity with God as love, you increasingly become an influence of good in the lives of all whom you contact. The Board of Trustees and I welcome you into our beloved community.
So now I'm going to ask all our new members to participate. So Ami and Jim, I'd like you to repeat after me. My fellow Center for Spiritual Living Delaware members.
Fellow, again, please.
Okay. My fellow Center for Spiritual Living Delaware members.
My fellow Center for Spiritual Living Delaware members.
Let's hear from Jim. Is Jim there? Is Jim in the I promise to be the best member
I promise to be the best member
I can possibly be.
I can possibly be.
I promise to support this spiritual community
I promise to support the spiritual community
with mindful and committed
with mindful and committed
service of my time,
service of my time,
talent, and treasure
talent, and treasure
as I am guided.
as I am guided.
I promise to live my life
I promise to live my life
guided by love
guided by love
and by devoting myself
and by devoting myself
to the spiritual principles and practices
to spiritual principles and practices
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I promise to love myself,
I promise to love myself,
respect myself,
respect myself,
and recognize the good in myself.
and recognize the good in myself.
My fellow members,
My fellow members,
I also promise
I also promise
to respect each of you
to respect each of you,
and see the good
see the goodness
in each of you.
in each of you.
Thank you for welcoming me
Thank you for welcoming me
into your hearts.
into your hearts.
Beautiful. And now for the other members in our community, I'd like you to repeat after me. We,
The members.
the members of the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware,
We, the members of the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware,
knowing that God
knowing that
Knowing that God
is the center
is the
is at
center
the center
of each of us
of each of us
and all life,
and
of
all
all
life,
life.
we promise to honor you,
we
We
promise to
promise to honor you,
respect you,
respect you,
look for the good in you.
look for the good in you.
We value our diversity.
We value our diversity.
Welcome to our spiritual family
welcome
Welcome
to our
to our spiritual family
and for adding your light
and for
and
adding
for
your
adding your
light
light
to ours.
to us.
to ours.
Yay!
All right, I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody. And I suggest that everybody go to show the grid view so you can see all.
Welcome, Emma.
Thing. Yay, thank you. So go, let's give them a good round of applause, guys.
Welcome.
Show your gallery.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
Congratulations, Ami and Jim. Welcome. We're so glad to have you.
All right.
Jim.
And back to Reverend Kathleen. All right, Reverend Kathleen.
Okay, I now would like to introduce Brett.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Amy and Jim. All right. So just some final announcements. For prayer sessions, visit our licensed professional practitioner page on our website. You'll find their phone numbers there. If you need to reach out, they'll be praying for you during the week, as well as sitting with you and walking you through through prayer. Reverend Linda Patton is the contact for the congregant care. Her telephone number is on the list on the website. We have a benevolent fund for those in need. The Board of Trustees will take recommendations for how this is to be used, and we can put the benevolent fund in the lower left area of the check if you are putting, if you're doing it by check. But of course, you know, if you can always submit your payments through through the website, through PayPal. We met and exceeded, and we want to give a shout out to Jen Lyons. We met and exceeded the $500 matching funds challenge for the Food Bank of Delaware. Way to go, Jen. Way to go, Spiritual Living community. You can still make donations to them directly. We can reach out to Jen, reach out to Dan to make your donations. So also you can reach out to the Food Bank of Delaware directly to make your donations for the matching funds challenge. So with that, I want to hand it back over to Sharon.
Sorry, technical difficulty. Sharon's mute is stuck. Let me get her, try to get her unmuted. It's not letting me.
She'll need to do it.
Okay, there you go, Sharon.
Thank you.
Gee Louise.
Many pray along the way. They don't stop to wonder what the world is coming to. They let something higher reveal the way to a greater love. So the truth keeps telling me, sing of liberation for the ones who are not free. Love can take us higher, reveal the way to a greater love. Ooh, yeah, yeah, we let it wash over us, we let Make us kinder, we let it. Take us higher, we let it. Make us better, we let it. Now and forever, we let it be, we let it. Don't cry along the way, walking through the sadness in a world that needs to know love can take us higher, reveal the way to a greater love. So the truth keeps telling me love's the only answer, and through all humanity we can stay inspired, reveal the way to a greater love. Ooh, yeah, yeah, we let it wash over us, we let it make us kinder, we let it lift us higher, we let it be, we let it early in the morning, we let it hold us together, we let it now and forever, we let it be, we let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. Oh, we let it be. We let the grace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let it be. I love you all, and I'd like to turn it back over to Reverend Kathleen.
We love you too.
Thank you, Sharon. We love you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, so much for your donations. The donations keep streaming in, and we really appreciate the support. And I just wanted to mention that from now on, if you would just send your food bank donations directly to the food bank, that I'd really appreciate that. So after service ends today, I would like you to type in prayer. You can even do that right now in the chat box. If you type in prayer, then Michelle knows that you would like a prayer with Candace or one of our other practitioners. So I know that there are others who probably would be available if we have more than one person wanting to sign up for prayer. We also, though, have Power of 8 Circle after service. And the Power of 8 Circle can have more than 8. It can be more than 8. It can be a little bit fewer than 8. But it is something that anybody can participate in. You do not need any experience. It is an opportunity to come together with a high intention to support an individual person or something that's going on the planet and bring the power of prayer to that situation. We know, again, that science shows us the exponential results that take place when we gather in common prayer. So let's do our closing prayer together. Repeat after me. Perfect God within me.
Perfect God within me.
Perfect life within me, which is God.
Perfect life within me, which is God.
Come forth into expression through me.
Come forth into expression through me.
As that which I am.
As that which I am.
Lead me ever on the path of all-inclusive love.
Lead me ever on the path of all-inclusive love.
And cause me to see.
And cause me to see.
The infinite good.
The infinite good.
So with that in our hearts, let's everybody say together.
Yes. Yes.
So it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Namaste, my friends.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
We're just going to get to see everybody. Say hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Everybody.
Family.
Congratulations